What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a super exciting brand new update video on the latest news about Liverpool's takeover, because David Lynch, who is a very reliable journalist, is reporting that Saudi Arabia and Qatar joined forces with a joint consortium. This is not the state but private investors. They joined forces as strong early contenders to buy Liverpool FC after, of course, they want to be avoiding become embroiled in a bidding war. They want to, of course, join forces and buy Liverpool instead of bidding against each other. And also there is also interest from German and American investors. So we will have all the details about this and many other Liverpool related news in this video. So make sure to listen to it in full and also leave a like if you enjoy this. Subscribe if you are new here so you don't miss the latest updates on Liverpool's takeover, and turn on the bell notification, of course, if you want to be in the loop. And of course there was also a tweet from a Qatari journalist saying that interest in Liverpool is very encouraging, and that was also followed by claims of Al-Bawaba. They also reported of the Liverpool interest in Liverpool from a joint Qatari-Saudi Arabia consortium. And David Lynch is reporting that investors from Saudi Arabia and Qatar states have agreed to join forces. So two Gulf states, of course, investors from Saudi Arabia and Qatar, they have agreed to join forces to avoid becoming competitors in bidding war, and they are preparing an initial bid in the region of 3.2 billion pounds, and their huge shared wealth puts them in a commanding position as they look to complete an Anfield takeover. The two parties are described as private investors. Of course, strong links to their respective states inevitably exist, but that's pretty much inevitable if any interested party wants to buy Liverpool from the Middle East, because of how the wealth is distributed in those Gulf states. It's inevitable that there will be some links to the government, but as long as it's an individual private investor group and not the state itself buying Liverpool, then I think many Liverpool fans will get behind this. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm always interested in hearing your thoughts. What do you think about this news? Are you for or against a Middle Eastern takeover of Liverpool FC? And especially if you are against it, why? Let me know your reasons in the comments below. And sources close to the bid are confident that those relationships would withstand sufficient scrutiny to be signed off by the FA, particularly in light of the recent takeover of Newcastle, of course, by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. And I already reported in a video like 3 days ago that the Premier League's rules and basically the owners and directors test permits a takeover from these states because they haven't changed the rules since Saudi Arabia took over Newcastle. And this development is very interesting, in particular because just 2 years ago the idea of groups from two nations uniting to pursue an investment opportunity would have been unthinkable, especially because in 2017 Saudi Arabia was joined by Bahrain, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates in severing all ties with Qatar. They became huge rivals because Qatar had alleged support of terrorism. That diplomatic crisis resulted in Qatar-based broadcaster beIN Sports being banned in Saudi Arabia, with the emergence of a pirated alternative creating further tensions. And those relations between the two countries began to normalize in early 2021, and full trade has resumed. So they settled their differences. A joint takeover of Liverpool would provide further evidence of their strengthening bond, and of course that had to be resolved. The Premier League wanted that to be resolved before Newcastle, the Newcastle takeover happened. So that of course accelerated the amendment of this relationship. Of course, according to David Lynch, despite the strength of the offering, the Qatari-Saudi partnership is likely to face stiff competition from elsewhere. It is understood, David Lynch is reporting, that they have been joined in the early running by a coalition of German investors who are further along in the process of tabling a bid to FSG An unnamed American consortium has also registered its interest in putting forward an offer. Still, FSG remain keen to hear from more bidders as they look to maximize any profit on, of course, this takeover process. Publicly, Liverpool's owners continue to assert that they are just exploring the possibility of attracting new investment that would allow them maybe to retain a controlling stake, but also they are open. And if the takeover goes through with this 3.2 billion pound price, it would be the most expensive club sale in Premier League history. And of course both options are possible, and I don't know much about this German consortium or German investor group because not much has been revealed about that, so we don't know how rich they are. Of course, morally it would be the better option for Liverpool to have European owners, and because Jurgen Klopp is German as well, Liverpool have a lot of fans in Germany. But the big question is what kind of investment group would be taking over if it was this German interested party, and also how much money would they have to invest into Liverpool. Would Liverpool be better off with German investors instead of a US businessman? We don't know yet because we don't have enough information about this part of investment group, and both option is possible at the moment. And at the moment it looks like one option is not more likely to be a much quicker route than the other, because plenty of due diligence and plenty of background checks and research will be put into both or all of the investors that are interested, and FSG will do a lot of background checks and a lot of work on selecting the right kind of ownership, the right kind of people to own Liverpool going forward, and hopefully they will make the right decision. Of course, new owners should mean instantly that Liverpool would have more money available in the transfer market, because the new owners would want to show the fan base that they are serious early on and they want to invest into Liverpool. But there are questions over where that money comes from, of course, and the intentions of those people behind the scenes has to be answered with all potential investors. And I will of course keep you updated on the whole process on this channel, so all you need to do is subscribe, so stay in the loop about Liverpool's takeover process. And David James believes that even though FSG are seeking new investment, the owners will only accept offers from parties that will bring a positive change to the club. If Liverpool was to be sold, David James said, and it's a big if, the current owners have experience in sport and they will want to sell the club to someone that has the best interest of Liverpool at heart. What they have done quite often is listen to the needs of the fans, and they value the Liverpool supporters. I believe any change will be a positive change, and they will only do a deal that's beneficial to the football club. And even Virgil van Dijk has said, I have full trust in Liverpool that they will be fine. We are a very established club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and that will stay that way no matter what happens. Whoever comes in to fill in those roles, they will do very well. I'm aware of everything that is happening. Whether I am taking it in and doing something with it right now, I don't think so, because the full focus is on the World Cup. But hopefully everything will be sorted and clarified when I'm back. At this point, I'm definitely not thinking about it. So Virgil van Dijk is speaking very maturely here, and he of course wants this to be resolved as soon as possible, because if it drags on too long and there is a lot of uncertainty about Liverpool's future, that's not good for the players, it's not good for the manager, it's not good for the fan base. But of course, a full sale of such a massive club in the world takes time, so be patient guys. I will try to keep you as updated as possible. I'm as interested as all of you guys in this takeover process, and I love covering these news for you guys. So if you appreciate that, leave a like of course on this video. And Andy Jones is reporting in The Athletic that what one such possible alternative to filling the role of Julian Ward could be of Christoph Freund, who is currently working as the sporting director of RB Salzburg, the Austrian champions. The 45-year-old who is similarly to Edwards does not seek the limelight, and he's happy to work behind the scenes. He was appointed sporting director of Salzburg in 2015 after previously working in other roles at the club, and he's known for managing key relationships within the club and with agents. Liverpool would need to convince Freund that the project at Liverpool is the perfect project for him. He has strong ties to Red Bull Salzburg. Pricing him away would be tough because Chelsea already found that out. They tried to price Freund away from Salzburg and they failed. But Liverpool are a much bigger club than Chelsea, and I think getting a Salzburg sporting director would be a very wise move, because Salzburg since 2015 they have been such a well-run club, and it's no coincidence that we signed a few players from them. Minamino, Naby Keita, who was at Salzburg previously, Sadio Mane, who was at Salzburg previously as well. And every time we played them in the Champions League, Jurgen Klopp has spoken glowingly about the setup at Salzburg and how they are a very modern, very well-run club with the right people in charge of the right areas. Of course, Freund was touted as a possible sporting director for Chelsea as the new owner Todd Bowley took charge of the club. And of course, it is an advantage that Liverpool already have a positive relationship with the Red Bull Group because of the previously mentioned players that we signed from them. And even though this guy has 3 years left on his current contract at Salzburg, there is a possibility that Liverpool could get him, and we could have a new head of transfer department. And also I wanted to talk about one more thing. Fabio Carvalho has actually told the Portuguese under-21 team that he doesn't want to represent them anymore, which is very interesting. Of course, Fabrizio Romano also reported that some Liverpool fans have been asking him about the slightly strange situation involving Fabio Carvalho. I think Carvalho wants to take his time before deciding his national team future. It's normal. Maybe the process was not the best one for the Portugal under-21 coach, but he wants to take his time. Basically, Carvalho can select whether to represent the Portuguese national team, the full men's national team, not the under-21s, or the English national team, because he has double citizenship, I believe, and also he was born in Portugal, I think, but he moved to England at a very young age, and maybe he wants to represent England. Maybe that's where he feels at home, which is quite strange because he has Portugal nationality as well. It's highly possible that a switch to the England setup with a view to joining the Harvey Elliott in the youth ranks, maybe later on making the step up to the senior England team. Maybe that's where he sees his future. Until we know for certain what Fabio Carvalho decides, there is really no point in speculating too much. But I think it's a pretty interesting and unusual development. Usually players don't stop representing an under-21 team. Maybe he has had a fallen out with the under-21 coach, but that's also just speculation. I think the most likely scenario is he just wants to take his time and think about his next move in his international career. In the meantime, hopefully he will be doing great at Liverpool as well in the second half of the season. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a lovely day. See you later. Good day.